Holleridge College stood as an imposing edifice of higher learning, its ivy-covered halls holding centuries of secrets. Sarah, a curious freshman, arrived on campus with dreams of academic excellence and independence. Little did she know that Holleridge held a darkness that would challenge her in ways she could never imagine. As classes began, Sarah quickly made friends with her dorm mates, including Mark, a charismatic theater major, and Emily, a studious literature enthusiast. Yet, unsettling occurrences soon disrupted their idyllic campus life. Whispers in the corridors, strange apparitions, and ghostly laughter echoing through the deserted classrooms at night. Sarah and her friends became convinced that their dormitory, Ravenwood Hall, was at the heart of the supernatural phenomena. Emily delved into the college archives, uncovering the history of tragedy and occult rituals connected to the building. A malevolent presence seemed to have awakened, feeding on their fear. The group's investigations led them to Professor Lawrence, an enigmatic expert in the occult. He revealed the college's dark past, including tales of a secret society known as the Shadows that practiced forbidden rituals beneath the campus. It was rumored that their leader, Professor Alexander Blackwood, still haunted the halls. Determined to confront the malevolent force, Sarah and her friends delved into the mysteries of the Shadows. They uncovered cryptic manuscripts, hidden passages, and a doorway to an otherworldly realm known as the Shadow Plane. Their academic pursuit became a harrowing battle for survival as the entity grew stronger. As the group ventured deeper into the Shadow Plane, they encountered the malevolent entity, the manifestation of Professor Blackwood's darkest desires. It whispered twisted promises and unleashed nightmarish horrors upon them, each tailored to exploit their deepest fears and insecurities. As the entity's influence grew, it began to fracture the group's unity. Mark's ambitions turned sinister, Emily's quest for knowledge became an obsession, and Sarah's self-doubt manifested as a sinister doppelganger. They found themselves pitted against each other in a battle of wills. Sarah and her friends realized that they had become pawns in the entity's game, trapped in a nightmarish cycle of torment. They sought the help of Professor Lawrence, who revealed a prophecy that foretold the entity's rise and its ability to manipulate reality itself. Armed with newfound knowledge and Professor Lawrence's guidance, the group embarked on a perilous journey to reverse the rituals that bound the entity to Holleridge College. They ventured into the depths of the Shadow Plane to confront the malevolent force and put an end to its reign of terror. In a climactic showdown, Sarah, Mark, and Emily faced the entity in a battle of wits and wills. The entity unleashed a torrent of nightmarish visions, forcing them to confront their deepest traumas and fears. Only by overcoming their inner demons could they hope to defeat the malevolent force. As the battle raged on, Sarah made a heartbreaking decision: to sacrifice herself to save her friends and banish the entity forever. In a powerful act of selflessness, she confronted her own darkest fears and insecurities, offering herself as a vessel to trap the malevolent force. Sarah's sacrifice unleashed a surge of otherworldly energy that consumed the entity, vanishing it from the college and closing the doorway to the Shadow Plane. As the dust settled, Mark and Emily were left to grapple with the loss of their friend and the harrowing journey they had endured. In the wake of the entity's defeat, Holleridge College began to heal. The supernatural phenomena ceased, and the college's dark history was buried once more. Mark and Emily carried the weight of their experiences, forever changed by the horrors they had faced. Mark and Emily, now seasoned by their paranormal quest, dedicated themselves to uncovering the secrets of the supernatural. They formed a clandestine organization to protect the world from malevolent entities and occult threats, ensuring that the horrors of Holleridge College would not be forgotten. Yet, as Mark and Emily delved deeper into the mysteries of the paranormal, they discovered that the malevolent force they had banished was far from defeated. Its influence extended beyond the college, and a new generation of students would soon be drawn into its web of darkness. Mark and Emily returned to Holleridge College, determined to confront the entity once more. They knew that the battle against the malevolent force was far from over, and that they must prepare a new generation of students to face the shadows that lurked within the hallowed halls. As the entity's malevolence grew, it began to manipulate reality itself, transforming the college into a nightmarish labyrinth of shifting corridors and endless staircases. Sarah, Mark, and Emily found themselves trapped in a surreal nightmare where the laws of physics no longer applied. The walls whispered with torment, and grotesque apparitions lurked in the shadows, ready to pounce. Every step they took led to a new horror, and their only hope was to unravel the entity's twisted symphony of fear and escape the ever-changing maze. In their desperate quest to banish the entity once and for all, Sarah, Mark, and Emily uncovered a haunting truth. The entity was not the first to harness the dark power of the shadow plane. Centuries ago, a group of students had sacrificed themselves to bind the malevolent force, but their spirits lingered in the college, forever tormented. These vengeful apparitions sought retribution, and their ethereal voices echoed through the haunted halls, warning the trio of the entity's true nature. In a chilling revelation, they learned that the entity fed not only on fear, but also on the souls of those it had ensnared. To confront the entity, Sarah, Mark, and Emily embarked on a perilous journey to collect ancient relics scattered throughout the college. Each relic held a fragment of the shadow plane's power, and by harnessing them, the trio hoped to gain an upper hand in the battle against the entity. The relics, however, were protected by spectral guardians and required them to face their deepest fears and regrets. Sarah grappled with her fear of failure. Mark confronted the ghosts of his past, and Emily unraveled the mysteries of her own family's dark history. As Sarah, Mark, and Emily grew closer to their goal, they forged an uneasy alliance with the vengeful spirits of the past sacrifices. These ethereal allies, bound by their shared torment, offered guidance and protection in exchange for the trio's promise to free them from their eternal suffering once the entity was defeated. Together, they delved deeper into the college's shadowy history, uncovering forgotten rituals and long-buried secrets that hinted at the entity's true weakness. Guided by the spectral allies, Sarah, Mark, and Emily performed the ritual of unbinding in a desperate bid to weaken the entity's hold on the college. As they chanted incantations and ignited candles, the very walls of Hollow seemed to tremble with rage. The entity retaliated with a fury, summoning nightmarish apparitions and tormenting the trio with visions of their worst nightmares. In the midst of the ritual, they mustered every ounce of courage and determination to maintain their focus and complete the ceremony. With the ritual completed, the boundaries between the shadow plane and the physical world began to blur. The college itself became a battleground of shifting dimensions, where gravity was a mere suggestion and reality fractured. Sarah, Mark, and Emily faced off against the entity in a surreal showdown, their minds and bodies pushed to the brink of madness. The entity's true form was a grotesque amalgamation of nightmares, a monstrosity that defied comprehension. In the climactic battle, Mark made the ultimate sacrifice to protect his friends. He confronted the entity head-on, allowing Sarah and Emily to channel the power of the relics and the ritual into a devastating attack. As Mark's life force was consumed by the entity, a blinding surge of energy erupted, engulfing the malevolent force in an inferno of ethereal flames. Mark's sacrifice proved to be the key to weakening the entity's grip on the college. With the entity weakened, Sarah and Emily pursued it into the depths of the shadow plane. In a harrowing chase through a realm of shifting shadows and distorted reality, they fought to banish the malevolent force once and for all. As they confronted the entity on its own turf, they unleashed the full power of the relics and the ritual. The entity writhed in agony, its monstrous form contorting and dissolving into nothingness, leaving behind only echoes of its torment. With the entity banished, the college gradually returned to normal, the supernatural phenomena dissipating. Sarah and Emily emerged from the shadow plane, physically and emotionally scared by their ordeal. Mark's sacrifice weighed heavily on their hearts, but they knew his sacrifice had been necessary to save them and the college. In the aftermath of the battle, Sarah and Emily discovered that the entity's defeat had not erased its influence entirely. The malevolent force had left a mark on the college, and the shadows within the haunted halls would always hold the memories of the horrors that had transpired. Together, they vowed to protect future generations of students from the darkness that lurked within Hollow College, knowing that the battle against the entity was far from over. Years later, as Sarah and Emily continued their fight against the supernatural, they received a cryptic message hinting at a resurgence of the malevolent entity. It seemed that the shadows within Hollow College were not content to remain dormant, and a new generation of students would soon face the horrors that awaited them. Sarah and Emily returned to Hollow College, determined to confront the entity once more. They knew that the battle against the malevolent force was far from over, and that they must prepare a new generation of students to face the shadows that lurked within the hallowed halls. As they delved deeper into the mysteries of the paranormal, Sarah and Emily uncovered a dark prophecy that foretold the entity's return in a cataclysmic event known as the Nightmare Eclipse. It seemed that the malevolent force was more powerful than ever, and the fate of Hollow College hung in the balance. With the Nightmare Eclipse looming, Sarah and Emily faced their greatest challenge yet. The entity's influence had grown stronger, and its malevolence threatened to plunge the entire world into eternal darkness. As they prepared to confront the entity one final time, they knew that the battle ahead would test their courage, their resolve, and their bond like never before. The shadows within Hollow College were waiting, and the fate of all humanity hung in the balance.